Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a young prince named Alexander. Alexander was the only son of the king and queen and was known throughout the kingdom for his bravery and kindness. He had everything a person could ever wish for. Yet he felt unfulfilled and yearned for adventure. One day, while wandering in the forest, Alexander stumbled upon an old hermit who lived in a small cottage. The hermit was known for his wisdom, and Alexander felt drawn to him, so he approached the cottage and knocked on the door. The hermit invited him in and offered him a cup of tea. As they sipped their tea, the hermit listened as Alexander spoke of his longing for adventure. The hermit looked into Alexander's eyes and saw that he was searching for something more than just material wealth and power. The hermit then told Alexander of a magical kingdom, hidden deep in the mountains, where he could find what he was searching for. Excited by the prospect of adventure, Alexander thanked the hermit and set out on his journey. He traveled for many days and nights, facing countless obstacles and facing many dangers, but he never gave up. Finally, he reached the base of the mountain where the magical kingdom was said to be located. The entrance to the kingdom was hidden behind a waterfall, and Alexander had to use all his strength and cunning to find it. When he finally found the entrance, he stepped inside and was greeted by a magical being who told him that the kingdom was in peril and that only he, with the help of a magical amulet, could save it. Alexander accepted the task and set out to find the amulet. He traveled through the kingdom, facing challenges and making new friends along the way. He learned about the kingdom's history and the powerful magic that had been keeping it hidden from the world. Eventually, Alexander found the amulet, but he also discovered that the kingdom was being threatened by a powerful dark wizard who sought to gain control of the kingdom and its magical power. Alexander knew that he had to act quickly to save the kingdom, so he challenged the dark wizard to a duel. The two clashed in an epic battle, with Alexander using all his skills and the power of the amulet to defeat the dark wizard. In the end, Alexander emerged victorious, and the kingdom was saved. Alexander was hailed as a hero by the people of the kingdom, and they offered to make him their king. But Alexander knew that his true calling was to continue his journey and seek new adventures. He said goodbye to his new friends and set out into the world once again, eager to see what the future held for him. From that day forward, Alexander was known throughout the land as the hero who had saved the magical kingdom, and his name became synonymous with bravery, kindness, and adventure. And although he never stayed in one place for too long, his legend lived on, inspiring generations of young people to set out on their own adventures and follow their dreams. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a man named Bob. Bob was known for his silly antics and was the life of every party. Everyone in the village loved him, especially for his practical jokes. One day, Bob decided to play a joke on his friend, Joe. Joe was known for his love of chickens, and so Bob hatched a plan to convince Joe that he had laid an egg. Bob got a real egg, painted it to look like a giant chicken egg, and placed it in his garden where Joe was sure to see it. The next day, Joe came over to Bob's house. And as he was walking in the garden, he saw the giant egg. "Wow, Bob! What is this?" asked Joe in amazement. Bob, trying to keep a straight face, said, "That's an egg, Joe. I laid it." Joe was shocked. "You laid an egg? How is that even possible?" Bob, with a serious tone, replied, "Well, you know how chickens can lay eggs, right? Well, I'm a special kind of human that can lay eggs too. It's a rare gift, but I have it." Joe, not knowing that Bob was playing a joke on him, was completely taken in by Bob's story. He went around the village telling everyone that Bob had laid an egg. The news spread like wildfire, and soon the entire village was talking about it. The next day, Bob and Joe went to the village square where a big crowd had gathered to see the egg that Bob had laid. Bob, with a big grin on his face, walked up to the egg and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you my egg." He then picked up the egg, took a bite out of it and said, It's a hard-boiled egg. Wanna taste, Joe?" Joe, who was now in on the joke, took a big bite out of the egg and said, "Wow, Bob, it's delicious. You truly are a rare human who can lay eggs. Can you teach me how to do it?" Everyone in the village burst out laughing, and soon they all figured out that Bob was just playing a joke on everyone. From that day on, Joe and Bob were known as the best pranksters in the village, and they continued to play jokes on each other and everyone else. And that, my friend, is the story of how Bob convinced the entire village that he could lay eggs. It just goes to show that even the silliest ideas can sometimes turn into the biggest laughs. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a man named Roger. Roger was known for his silly antics and humorous pranks that he would play on his friends and family. Everyone in the village loved him for his cheerful and light-hearted nature. One day, Roger heard that a circus was coming to town and he was extremely excited. He loved circuses and had always wanted to run away and join one. When the day finally arrived, Roger went to the circus with great enthusiasm and excitement. The circus was filled with all sorts of amazing acts, but the one that caught Roger's eye was the clown show. He was enthralled by the clowns and their silly pranks and jokes. He watched the show with a big smile on his face and laughed so hard that his sides ached. After the show was over, Roger decided that he wanted to become a clown. He went to the circus manager and asked if he could join the troupe. The manager looked at Roger skeptically and told him that he was too old to become a clown. Roger was heartbroken and didn't know what to do. That's when he had an idea. He went back to his village and gathered all of his friends and family. They all dressed up in clown outfits and created their own little circus. The villagers were amazed by the sudden appearance of the clown troupe and were eager to see their show. Roger and his friends put on a performance that was filled with silly jokes, pranks, and acrobatics. The audience laughed and cheered, and when the show was over, they asked for more. Roger and his friends continued to perform their circus show all over the village, and soon, word spread about their hilarious performances. People from far and wide came to see their shows and they became famous overnight. Years went by, and Roger and his friends continued to put on their circus shows. Always making their audience laugh and smile. They never forgot their roots and always made sure to put on a show that was silly, light-hearted, and filled with joy. And that, my friends, is the story of how Roger and his friends became the most famous clown troupe in the land, all because of one man's love for circuses and his desire to bring joy to others. Thanks for watching my video. I hope these stories brought a smile to your face and helped brighten up your day. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more laughs and entertainment. And remember, laughter is the best medicine. Until next time, bye.